Hi Amir, so happy to have you here in Brasov at EXPOAPA 2024. It's easy for me to introduce you of our future partner,
Yes.
but it's better for the public to give yourself an introduction of yourself and your company.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much, Daniela. So my name is Amir Peleg. I am from Israel. And as you know, Israel has been in the water sector for many years, since all of us are aware and being learned and taught that the scarcity of water and that there is an importance of every drop, so we have to save every drop. And I started this company about more than a decade ago. The company is called Takadu. And the whole dream and vision behind Takadu is to bring digital technologies, data analytics and machine learning and AI into the water sector, how to make the water utility more efficient. And it did, because I'm not from the water sector. My background is mathematics and physics and computer science or entrepreneurship. This is my profession. And as I've learned the water sector, I noticed that there is data. There are more and more sensors. There are IoT devices and telecommunication. But at least 10 years ago or more, there was no real smart way to use the data in order to understand where there are faults, where there are leaks and bursts and other problems in the water networks. So what Takadu have developed over the last couple of years is a software that resides on the cloud and that can take any data, any type of data that is being collected by the water utility in real time, and transform that data into insights, into knowledge, into information about specific events and incidents that are happening. The classic one is a leak. You don't want to lose water. You have a lot of non-revenue water. In many countries, it is 30%, 40%, 50%. And that's worth a lot of money. But even beyond that, it is worth a lot of energy and carbon emission. And so the whole target is to try and use all the data in order to better understand what is going on, in order to have visibility, to spot a leak. Then you can take care of it and improve your efficiency, save water, save energy, and most importantly, improve your customer service. So your customers will get higher service level at a lower cost.
So you underline perfect the problem and the solution, and it's worth it to say that our division, AI Tech division, it's so suitable, let's say, to connect with Takadu due to the fact that we are here to serve the industry. We are experts in somehow coming from other industries, like as you said, your expertise is not quite as an engineer. My also is not, I'm an economist, but as a co-founder of Aquatica Experience, I understood in a big picture, okay, there are some gaps. And here we are coming to serve, to fulfill the gaps, so the experts can have all the details to play, let's say, in order to make the sustainability future of the water. Because,
Correct.
As you said, in Israel, you was aware from many years ago that this is an issue, but now globally, everyone knows that it's an issue.
Yes.
And it's not that we are saying, or just some people. The climate change is obvious. We know very well that in Europe, let's not look in Africa or even in USA, the problem is huge, but also in Europe, we notice many events, unfortunate events like scarcity. So how it helps one in numbers, let's say a company, water company that can integrate easily. I know it's easy to integrate our services. Can you explain how this will impact the numbers of the company?
Yes.
And how is this involving in the daily operation? How it helps?
Yes.
Or who knows? People are afraid to get that to have this adoption of new technology. So just keep it simple and let us know how it can work.
I think that there is even a higher level of a challenge, and that is what gives the motivation to the water companies to really take that next step.
Exactly.
Because remember, it's a non-competitive industry. You don't have selection of which water company you can connect to. In many cases, those are public entities, so sometimes they don't care. They don't get a bonus by performance or by revenues or by profit. And in many cases, even the age of the people in the industry is not not the young and agile and energetic. They've been there, they were doing the same thing for the last 50 years or 100 years. In many cases, the infrastructure is very old, the pipes, the valves, the pumps. So why should they change? They've been doing it, people got water. However, you see that global warming and climate change and the regulation in Europe and droughts. Suddenly, if you have a drought and if you don't have water and you cannot deliver water to your houses, no one can live without water, right? There is a saying that says, water is life. Without water, you don't have life. So you see a small but drifting change in the motivation of water utilities all over the world. Obviously in Europe you see it in the last couple of years, but before that it was in Israel, in Australia, in Spain, in France, in Latin America. We see it a lot in Brazil and in Mexico, where a lot of mayors and a lot of the regulators and a lot of the water utilities and the teams are pushing to improve. And the improvement lies in multi-dimension. First thing is by using Takadu, for example. We have a customer in Australia that managed to reduce its water loss from 30% to below 10%. That's huge. You're talking about billions and billions of liters of water every year that has a lot of value in monetary
and billions
values.
In money also.
And billions in money. And this was translated to improving the rate that the customers are paying. So instead of increasing the rate or the fees by inflation, they managed to keep the same level of fees in the last 10 years just because they become more efficient.
Amazing.
Another number is that they managed to reduce the repair cycle. How much time on average it takes to repair any problem from the beginning of the problem, not the detection, the beginning of the problem until it is repaired. And that factor was reduced by 66%. And again, because if you know about the issues, and it's not firefighting, if you know, you can make better planning, like we all do, like you do in economy, like I was doing in computer science, you know, so you can take better management decisions and priorities. Another element is that you are improving the customer service. If you have less leaks and less bursts, you have less catastrophes, you have
more happy clients.
You have more happy clients. For example, you can reduce the number of big bursts and big catastrophes by half. If you reduce it by half, it means that you have half of the occasions that you have to stop water for the whole neighborhood or for the whole city. And that's a major improvement. And you need to also to understand that in today's world with social media, unlike 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if clients are not happy, they will immediately publish that bad news. And suddenly that bad news goes into the politics of the city or the village, because suddenly the mayor is in charge. His water services are not good enough. I'm not even talking about the quality of the water. So there is a lot of progress in the awareness, droughts and water scarcity. There is a lot of pressure on the regulation to improve services, just like we are citizens, we pay taxes, we want to get the best service. And the last thing is that you have to consider that water relates to energy, relates to carbon emission. So even on a global scale, if you look at the push by the UN and by all the World Bank, etc., they want to reduce the footprint, they want to reduce the energy consumption, and that immediately relates also to water savings.
So you take all this information from macro data. In our platform, in H2O, we take the micro data, and combine them in the most efficient way, combining also with the operational procedure, so we can increase the efficiency of the day-by-day activity. But you can take all the details, and that's why we are so complementary, and to put them in overview in a matter of time, like weeks, days, minutes, or years, and to predict the future. Is it correct? That
is pretty much correct, well described. I think that the picture is even bigger than that, because the future will give us more opportunities about how to make smarter planning, how to use data about water quality, how to use data about changing and upgrading assets, how to use data in wastewater network, in sewage network that is growing as well. And that's also a lot about environmental problems, because if you have sewage spillover and blockages, that creates huge environmental problems. So on one aspect, the future is huge because you have more data types and more problems in networks, and you can use data and information and metadata in order to even have to even get smarter planning decisions. But there is another major problem which I want to raise, and that is that many of the water companies, and we saw it here in the conference, that some of the speakers in the last panel raised the fact that, yeah, the users are afraid of digital transformation. They don't really know how to use digital tools. You don't have enough smart staff or young engineers to use that. How do you overcome that? Because you don't have a lot of large water utilities. You have maybe few in Romania.
Exactly.
Maybe a handful, that's it. All the rest are medium or small size,
and
in
it's not just
rural.
Romania.
And it's not Romania, it's
sorry
all over the
for
world.
stopping you, but it's not. I know that you are global.
Yes.
So I know you share me the same opinion that we have, that the problems are similar all around the world.
That is correct.
So what's the
Pareto
solution?
analysis is that you have very few large ones that are progressive and have money, or staff, engineers, and many thousands that don't have it. And the solution is really to take all the different solutions, combine them, and turn them into a turnkey service, as an outsourced service. And that's what we hope our partnership to build, is to build some sort of a control room, a mega control room that will not just say, okay, I'm controlling you. I'll give all the information that you need in order to improve your water service, in order to make better decisions. And we can provide that service from an outsourced location by top experts, by the top technologies, and then we can accommodate the needs of small ones, medium ones, and even large ones, anywhere in the world.
And this in a condition of cybersecurity, ethic of data, and integration, interoperability with other platforms as per the client's wants. And this is important to understand for our future clients, that we are not, let's say, destroying, smashing all what they built until now, like SCADA or other informatic.
We are just adding value.
We are just adding value. We are taking the information, we restructure them, and we give them back as strategies, as decision makers.
Or I call it insights. We give it back as insights of what is important to do now, what are the priorities. And in a way, what I'm describing it, if I will have to distill our joint offering, is that we are actually allowing them to focus on what they need. They need to
and what
operate
they know
the network.
Very well.
Exactly. They know very well to operate their network.
Exactly.
To fix problems, to look for those things, and to really focus on operations. While we will focus on applying all the digital technologies.
All the crazy vocabulary like AI, like machine learning, like how we can use this, if this will hurt us or will help us, how we can, take this, how we can create adoption with our team. So we take out of their head all this, and we bring insights, as you said, which became like strategic decision maker information.
Yes.
That can support a better and a more sustainable way to manage and conserve the water reserve.
And we can do all of that in a lower price. Because if you combine all those services in a central way, you can actually create a more, pricing level that makes sense. If you try to push all those technologies to each water utility, and let's assume even if they have the engineer, it will cost them a fortune.
Exactly, and we should do better our job to faster communicate the utility of our services and to convince them that it's really worth it. And we are strategic partnership for long term. And being said this, I am so happy to have you here, and thank you for joining us in Brașov these days so promptly. And will be very, very important to communicate the fact that it's the time to be proactive in a global problem, which is the water issue.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.